Hello to you all and welcome to the daily news on Topg TV. My name is Albert Kwame Ajima Prempe and I'm going to be your host for today's developing stories and updated news. Before I proceed, kindly take a look down the video as usual. There's a red button that says subscribe. Kindly hit on that, and next to the red button there is also a bell that will alert you whenever we upload new videos or new content on the channel. Ding! Yeah, hit on that bell too as well. Thank you so much for your subscription and thank you for joining the Topg multimedia family. So yeah, let's move on with the developing news and updated stories. George Floyd is finally laid to rest. The memorial was held for him yesterday on the 4th of June 2020. Loved ones, friends, families gathered together and poured showers of praise and lovely words on him before he was sent to the cemetery to be buried. The likes of Ludacris, Tyrese, Kevin Hart, Reverend Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and many more dignitaries were present at the memorial ceremony. So it was a good thing, it was very beautiful, but the sad thing is that we just lost a man. So that side doesn't look good at all. Why is there an uprising after the death of George Floyd? Somebody might not understand, but I think that this is the right time for me to maybe take a few minutes and walk us through it. There has been so many killings in America when it comes to Black America, African Americans living in America. Let's say every other day there is a black man or a black woman, somebody of a black or minority color being killed in America. Okay, but in compiling all this death, that is what has led to that outrage. That is what has sparked that uprising in America and making people destroying stuff and looting in buildings and dismantling properties that like public properties. So it's because of the way people are being treated. Minorities, blacks feel like they are being treated in America. Okay, when you take a look at in the year 2014, there was a gentleman who is also passed on, who has also passed on by the name Eric Garner. He was choked to death by a white police officer in New York. He also yelled that "I can't breathe," just as the same as George Floyd. Okay, but the policeman paid no attention to what Eric Garner was saying. So Eric Garner, through the choking mood, died. There is also another female called Breonna Taylor, a medical emergency technician, was killed in her own home in Louisville, Kentucky. She was killed. A police officer knocked at the door with no warrant, entered into the house and shot her by at least 8 times. Bam, 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 and just killed her like that. So these kind of things. And there is also a gentleman by the name Ahmaud Arbery, who was approached by an ex-police officer and his son while he was jogging through the neighborhood. And he was just approached by them and he was shot by the police officer. And there was another man sitting in the car videotaping the whole incident. So these things kind of gets people a little bit upset. And if you can remember, in the year 1944, on June 16th, there was also another gentleman. Now this story, when it's remembered anywhere, kind of a little bit upset minorities a lot. Now there was a gentleman by name George Stinney Jr. He was at the age of 14 years when he was executed by the prison officers in South Carolina, United States of America. What was his charge? He was charged of killing a 7-year-old white girl and an 11-year-old white girl when this gentleman was 14 years old because he was black. So these are the charges leveled against him. in America. June 16, 1944 was when he was electrocuted. They placed him in the chair, used the wires and everything around him, tied him up with the wires, and put the whatever it is on his head, and received the signal from Supreme Court that the order has been given for them to kill him. At the age of 14 years old, 14, he was killed. He was falsely accused of killing 7-year-old and 11-year-old white girls. 70 years after his conviction, a judge has denounced that conviction, and the judge said the gentleman was not given a fair trial. 70 years after his conviction, 70 years after his death, the judge said George Stinney Jr. was not given a fair trial. So these things piles up, and it angers people for them to get out there, and in combination of what has happened to the late George Floyd, who was born on October 14th, 1973, who had some life to live, but his life was taken by a police officer who made a decision that the guy is no important in the world. Today is the 11th day of his passing, but there are still people out there demonstrating out there. And what did the President of the United States of America say? When the looting starts, the shooting starts. I mean, this is not what, come on man, Mr. President Donald J. Trump, this is not the right thing for you to have said. That when the looting starts, the shooting starts. So basically, you are empowering the military to release, or the police to start shooting the civilians who are protesting in their own right. So you don't want no protest or nothing. I don't think that was the right word should have been, or the right sentence should have been made, Mr. President. I think you can come back. I think you can do better. So come back and then give a very good account for that. And also, you remember? Do you know Kanye West? Kanye West, the musician, the rapper, who has now given his life to Christ and is now a born again gospel artist. Kanye West, the husband of Kim Kardashian. Yes, Kanye West has donated $2 million. Kanye West has donated $2 million to the families of Eric Garner, who was choked to death, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. And he has also promised to pay the college fee or the college tuition of George Floyd's daughter. That's a good moment. There are so many celebrities, there are so many people who have devoted themselves to help the families of the deceased in America. So that is a good step for them, and that means that they are doing whatever is expected of them as celebrities, and they are also sharing the pain, the tears of these family members of the deceased ones. Okay, so Donald Trump has been sued by the protesters for asking them to be cleared from where they were peacefully protesting, so that he can go and stand there and take pictures. I don't know what the pictures were for, but he just went and stood in front of a church holding a Bible. Couldn't even hold the Bible well, and was taking pictures with him. The protesters were there. They were peacefully protesting, but Donald Trump commanded them to be sacked from there so that he can go there. That doesn't look right for a president of a great nation like United States of America. I think, Mr. President, you can do better. So come back again and then bring a new sort of statement on that. We are waiting, and we believe that you can do better for this country. Okay, so now let's go to Ghana. Ghana, my motherland, the country of gold, the country of diamond, bauxite, great resources. Ghana, my motherland. So there is this developing story or developing news that has come, that has surfaced to my desk, and it says the venture capital trust fund. If you can remember, there were some gentlemen who were dragged to court by the Attorney General of Ghana, and accordingly, the former CEO of the venture capital trust fund, by name Daniel Duku, together with two other men, has pleaded guilty for causing financial loss to the state of Ghana. They've pleaded guilty, and somebody may ask, how much was it? Actually, there were 86 charges that were leveled against them, and they've pleaded guilty to it. The amount of money that that was, lost is 42,856,470 cedis and 21 pesos. 42,856,470 cedis and 21 pesos. So these guys have kind of like assembled themselves together and they've squashed the money like that. Yeah, they chopped it. They chopped your money. And now they've pleaded guilty. And they are in a settlement mood with the government to settle the bill. But I know that there are some consequences that await these guys. They must face the court of competent jurisdiction and the law of Ghana. So this is what is going on. This is what is happening in today's developing news and story. My name is Albert Kwame Ajima Prempeh, and thank you so much for being with us. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel Topg Multimedia. We are making a difference. We will bring to your table every news around the world. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you for watching.